the go-to series for busy entrepreneurs like you. Product research, sales, marketing, branding, shipping and logistics. We share knowledge and information every week from top experts serving the MENA region to help you power your e-commerce business. Hello everyone and good evening. Thank you for joining me in another Power Your E-commerce Business live masterclass. The main headline of our session tonight is all about registering your business in Europe. What are the benefits of registering your business in Europe and how that can help you expand your Amazon business globally. And to help me dissect this very juicy subject is none other than, most of you have seen him already on the channel, but if you don't, please everyone meet the head of sales of one office, Thonis, straight from Estonia. Hi Thonis, welcome.
Hi Crystal, it's really nice to see you again. It's been a while since we last spoke and had this kind of live event for your listeners. I'm really glad to be back because I think there's so much more to share, so much more context you could use for your Amazon business or whatever e-commerce business you have. And let's, as you said, let's try to dissect this today.
Yes, thank you so much, Thonis. And thank you for spending your evening with us. A lot of information to talk about tonight. And I think the main question that we're going to answer is why, if you're thinking, if whoever is watching us is thinking of registering their business, why it's important to register it in Europe, or rather, what are the benefits of registering in Europe and in Estonia, to be exact. Now, before we get started, Thonis, can we talk a little bit about One Office and yourself, and what exactly is One Office and what services do you provide?
Yeah, One Office actually has quite a long history. It's about 11 years old now. And then we actually grew up in Estonia. We started the business in Estonia, but it's quite multinational now. We have branches and offices in other countries as well, around Baltics, and then also in the UK. The main core service is company registration, and then of course offering a virtual office or a legal address in your place of business. Because a lot of the times you have an obstacle, you want to register the company, but you don't have an address in Estonia. What to do? Well, then you can contact us in One Office. And of course, along the way of this simple service that we register a company, we started noticing that customers need a lot of other things like accounting, like some kind of contracts, legal consultations. And then the last year, actually it was before Corona, we figured out that, whoa, e-commerce, it's been here for a long time, but it's growing and growing and growing. And we need something on top of the regular services that we had. So we partnered up with some of our closest business partners and started offering full service for Amazon, which means that you get the company and you end up with an Amazon account that you can start to use for sales on Amazon platform. And we focused mainly on German market and the UK market. But I guess we'll go into more details later because a lot of things have been changed by the EU government. A lot of things have changed in Estonia and also in One Office, which really can help you to do your business on Amazon and make it easier.
Also, we're going to be talking about, because I know a lot of people know what's happening in Estonia and a lot of people don't. So it's not a regular country, Estonia, and what you guys provide isn't at all normal. I would know because I have an Estonian company, of course. So do you want to get started with the presentation, Thonis? I'm biased because I have a registered Estonian company. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go into it.
Let's go into it.
I'll try to be as unbiased. I know my title is head of sales, but I'm also responsible of One Office partnerships, which we are doing with Crystal at the moment. So I'm helping her to actually give this information out to you. Also, I'm doing other partnership things, affiliates. I'm also Amazon project manager. So I know a lot of the details that are going on actually when the client is onboarded, and I know the obstacles. At least I hope I know most of them. But in your situation there, maybe you have some other things. So definitely ask me questions in the section where you can ask questions, and later I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I named this presentation e-commerce via Estonia because I know Amazon is maybe the most relatable for you, but I'm going to touch a little bit other subjects as well, like Shopify or eBay or whatever platform you're trying to sell on, because they are kind of similar in some sense. But Amazon has their own specific requirements, which is a little bit different. So,
well, as you know, Thomas, with your experience, a lot of people start on Amazon and then they want to expand, whether on other marketplaces or on their own website, like a Shopify website, exactly like you said. So yes, maybe for me, I'm very focused on Amazon, but of course, it's something that you need to have the steps in case you want to expand. It has to be there. The options need to be there. Yeah,
absolutely. And the thing is that the benefits and the core assumptions are the same. And let's go into the assumptions.
Yes,
you are selling physical goods, which oftentimes has been complicated for people outside of EU to sell physical goods in EU. So companies like One Office will make this a bit easier for you. Also, the other core assumption is that you want to sell in EU and also maybe to expand to Europe.
Yeah, with you.
Yes, with me. Thank you. And the final assumption is that you yourself are not a resident in European Union, which begs the question, how can I even start my activities there? What are the options out there? Well, there are several, but out of those several, I think Estonia is the best choice. And in this sense, you can trust me because we also offer services in other countries, as I said, the main core services. And I believe that Estonia still is the best place to start your business in Europe. And here are the main reasons. The list is maybe not as full as it should be. There are other minor details that work in your benefit, but these are the core ones, in my opinion. So you can double check later on the internet, do they sound true or not? But in my opinion, it's true. And maybe the biggest benefit that you as a company owner in Estonia have is that your company's profits are yours, which means that you can accumulate profit. You sell your products, you do your expenses, everything, and what is left over is your profit. And this profit is essentially tax-free if you keep it in the company's bank account. Which means that you can keep it on the company's bank account for years. You can accumulate it, just let it sit there. Nobody's gonna put the corporate income tax on it. That's a unique Estonian law. But on the other hand, this profit that you have accumulated, you are quite free to do anything with that money. Since it's your company's money, it's your money, and you can, for example, invest it to other endeavors. Something completely different from e-commerce. Maybe you want to offer some kind of IT solution or resell something else on some other platform. You can do that. You are not limited only doing Amazon or any e-commerce business. You can do something else, IT, consultation, whatever is your imagination. The second thing that is really good, you can invest and actually protect your profits, because lately we know that a lot of governments around the world have printed a lot of money. This might increase the prices. We don't know yet, but the threat is real. So if you're afraid that maybe you're keeping your profits in euros or US dollars, then it makes sense maybe to allocate those profits to some other funds, maybe stock funds or I don't know, whatever gold. You want to buy a gold, you can do that. So it's up to you to think what you do with the profits you have accumulated. The only thing that you shouldn't do is to use the profit for your personal expenses. So that's just a caveat I'm going to add there, because a lot of the times people use their company's profit for personal expenses, and then the corporate income tax is applied on that money. So, But more about that later, how the corporate income tax is figured out for you, and what exactly you need to know about that. Then the share capital.
So sorry,
Yeah,
Thomas.
absolutely.
Anyone who isn't familiar, because as you know, is also there's no income tax here as well. But when you leave the UAE and most of the GCC countries, this is where you are struck with the fact that there's a lot of, and as you know, most of us here in the UAE are expats, so we come from countries that already have a lot of taxation. So that's a very unique point about Estonia, the fact that you don't have income tax. As long as you're using your money that you're making from your company for non-personal reasons, basically you're not shopping or doing something personal, then you're not paying any taxes. So that's very important. And that isn't available in any other European country. So that is something that is a benefit why you would think, okay, opening a company in Estonia is something beneficial if you want to choose to open a company in Europe. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You summarize it perfectly. And then let's just take another comparison, the United Kingdom, which competes with Estonia quite a lot because the prices are similar to even register and maintain the company. And the process is also similar. You can do it online quite easily without no hassle. But in UK, you end your financial year and your profits are taxed immediately with a 19% income tax. And if you think about it, in UK, you immediately have to consider the taxation cost into your business. But in Estonia, you can basically postpone it. You can do this business for several years, and you have several years to actually start making profit. And when you do make the profit, then yes, you can take it out and then you pay the corporate income tax. But you have like a lot of time to actually just do it as a side business or a side hustle and just work on it gradually until you get better and better and better. And then maybe you want to quit your day job and do it this full time if it finally actually is profitable. So it's a great starting point, in my opinion.
It is.
So corporate tax, this is hopefully clear. Then the Estonia itself, how to set up the company, it's all done digitally. Although there is an additional step that you have to take, you have to apply for an Estonian ID code or digital code. So you will apply for it. You will get a plastic card. So you will have a digital residence in Estonia. And this card is a secure way to actually access the digital environments that Estonia has. And of course, one of the digital environments is the business registry, where you can register your company. So as long as you have this e-residency, which is available for everybody, there is basically the only people who are excluded are people who already have some kind of internet. If they are going to do a background search on you, and if they see something that some articles or your, I don't know, social media has something illegal in it, you've done frauds, people have complained about you as a private person, then they will not issue this digital card. But if you're an honest working person, then everyone can get this e-residency card, which means that everyone can actually open the company in Estonia if they want to.
And for anyone who lives in the UAE, you can go ahead and, normally when you apply for the e-residency, you go ahead and you apply online, and then you have to go and get it from certain consulates, do we call them, Tonis?
Embassies or consulates.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, embassies. So in this year, it's become also available for anyone who lives in the UAE. You can go ahead and get it from the Estonian embassy based in Abu Dhabi, of course. Or there are a lot of other countries where you can go ahead and, you can go for a short vacation and pick up your Estonian e-residency if you want to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you are not fixed with the pickup location where you are actually resident in. So just choose any pickup location if it matches your travel plans or anything like that. Perfect. But luckily you have it in UAE as well. So you can pick it up from Abu Dhabi, as Crystal said. Perfect situation. I mean, Even if you're not thinking of opening the company today or even in a year, you can still apply for it. You have it in the drawer. You can always use it. The e-residency card is valid usually for 5 years. Then you have to renew it. But during that 5 years, if you have like a great business idea, just open the drawer, take out the e-residency card, and open your company. It takes like 24 hours or something like that. So it's quite easy if you've done the research beforehand.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll skip the prices at the moment, but I'll go into a bit bigger topic. Of course, when you open a company in Estonia, you are actually able to sell across Europe, no strings attached. Just start selling, and then you have, of course, some thresholds or limitations how much you can sell to each individual country, and this now has been changed starting from 1st of July 2021. You can actually start selling to any EU countries at all, and you don't need any additional registration other than this Estonian company. You don't need to worry about that if you start selling with your Estonian company in Germany, that you need to apply for extra tax numbers there, or if you start selling in France with your Estonian company, that you have to get extra tax numbers there. You have this one Estonian entity, you get a VAT number, so Estonian tax number there, and you're good to go for the whole Europe. And this mostly applies for these e-commerce sellers or distance selling types of businesses who dropship directly from, I don't know, India, Turkey, China, whatever the manufacturing country is. If you distantly drop sell to any EU country with your Estonian company, then everything happens in Estonia, which means that your maintenance costs are now really, really low, and you only have to worry about one country's regulations. Everything else is worked out by the tax offices of each individual European country. So if you sell in Estonia and you sell these goods also in Germany, and there is some kind of taxation between, then the government organizations themselves cover this. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to worry that you have this Estonian VAT number or tax number, and you've done the compliance related with that. So that's really a making change that happened 2 months ago, and I would say that very few people have taken advantage of this as of now.
Or know about it. Yeah, it wasn't really clear what it was all about, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing that they call it one-stop shop or internet one-stop shop.
Yes.
So it means that you only need a tax number in the same country where your company is. So in your case, or in this case, in Estonia. Previously, it meant that if you wanted to sell in Germany, at some point you most likely have to take like a German tax number, and then also pay some VAT there.
France, all of those, yeah.
All countries. But now you can do pan-European selling and only worry about the Estonia tax number. So that's perfect for a lot of customers that we have. But at the moment, like new customers, or I would say like new leads, they don't know about it yet. And then, a lot of education is needed in this field.
Yeah, and just as a small preface, Tonis, obviously an Estonian company, you can also use it not only to open your account in Amazon Europe, you can also use it on all, I believe all Amazon marketplaces. At least you can use it in UAE, and you can use it in KSA. So in our marketplaces, you can also use it for Amazon.com. You can use it for all Amazon Europe. I'm not sure if you can use it for Amazon Singapore and Japan, but you can use it in most of the main Amazon marketplaces if you wanted to.
Luckily I have one client. He's been with us for 2 years now, started with the same Amazon package. And we first registered the Amazon account for them in Germany. Then they expanded to UK. Then they expanded to the US. And I believe they also have something in East Asia, maybe in Japan. I'm not 100% sure at the moment, but in all different regions. And actually, the difficult part is setting up your first market. if you've set it up your first market, let's say in Germany, then you mostly don't need us in one office anymore to manage your Amazon account. You can quite easily just click there and get the new marketplace in and organize your goods there and say, I want to use this warehouse or that warehouse, or these goods to these people will go out from this warehouse. Well, this kind of thing is more relevant in Europe, but basically it means that you can expand to the United States if you want to.
Yes.
But maybe I'll just go over. I don't have a slide about the Amazon package that we have in one office, but I was thinking about talking about it anyway. I don't have much visuals to add there, but I don't know how familiar you are with the process of actually getting an Amazon account. But Amazon quite often is really strict, or they don't even want to understand your point of view. They kind of see your application and they say, okay, this is good, or okay, this is bad. We got this client out of our platform. They are not good for us. And any disputes with Amazon, they're gonna be really long, and most likely you're not gonna solve anything. So what you really want to focus on is getting this first Amazon account perfect. You want to get it so perfect that you don't have any hiccups, and then later you are free to actually expand. So what we do is we register you the company, and once that is done, we will start working on either German tax number or UK tax number. Depends which marketplace you want to start off from. You can choose both, but I recommend one for starters. And then once you have the VAT number, then we will register also the Amazon account. Quite a lot of people want to do it a bit differently. So they want to set up their private person account first, and then they want to open a company, and then they want to transfer that private person account into company's account.
To a professional, yes, account.
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay. We can do that. We can assist you if you already have an existing Amazon account. But the problem quite often is that people just test around in Amazon. And if you do something wrong with this private person account and you get like a failed KYC, or you're just not, Amazon just says that
you're just going to be suspended off the platform. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then later doing this for your company in Estonia is also going to be much more difficult. We have to go through this Amazon compliance. And I would say that such cases, I would even have to say that, no, I'm sorry, but there's no guarantees that we can eventually help you, because we're going to have to make so many steps, a lot of investments for you. And then the final step is opening the Amazon account. And then you might be surprised that you did something like 3 years ago with the Amazon account. And now, because of that, Amazon says no. So if
not only that, Thomas, you might not fit the location where you live and where you reside, or even you might not fit and not be able to open in an individual account. So, but I completely understand that you're just giving out a case study of what people are normally thinking of. So yeah, perfect.
Yeah. That's the thing, that if you're planning to do Amazon specifically, I would recommend either it's going to be us, which would be nice, but contact a professional who knows about Amazon accounts. Definitely make that, at least that investment, to really get your account perfect the first time, so you wouldn't have any issues later on.
Because that's it. Yeah. If everybody knows Amazon is an automated system, so once Amazon says no, bye-bye, then it's going to be very tough to appeal back and get yourself back on track. So for sure.
Yeah, that's the worst. If I may take an example from another use case that we had. Estonian company has this letter U. It has 2 dots on it. It's U with 2 dots. And this letter does not exist in the UK, so in English language. So we registered the VAT number in the UK for the Estonian company. We got the certificate for the VAT registration from the UK. And then we submitted all of the data to the Amazon compliance team. and they said that, hey, your company name and the VAT certificate, the names don't match. There was one letter difference, and there was just missing two dots from the letter U, and they said no to us. But luckily, our Amazon specialist was able to make it clear, and we managed to also change the VAT certificate enough to actually make this Amazon account active. But it was just insanely small detail that was wrong in Amazon opinion, and their automated systems just said no.
So just to clarify a little bit more for everybody who's watching, so we can so one office, your company, obviously helps individuals register businesses in Estonia. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that. But additionally, guys, one office did create an additional package for anyone who wants to sell on Amazon, and they help you through this registered Estonian business that they help you create. They help you open your accounts seamlessly on Amazon, so you do it correctly from the very beginning without making a mistake. Because if you do a mistake, just like Tonis said, it's a one-time thing. And I'm sure if you've done anything on Amazon previously, you know this is how it works. It's a one-time deal. If something happens, then it's going to be a very big headache to just get yourself back on Amazon. So that's the package that Tonis is quite, is talking about.
Exactly. And then, Crystal, I don't know why I'm even here. You know these things so well.
No, go on.
It's amazing.
No. Let's keep going. Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yes.
So I would think that these are the main benefits and things to understand and know about Estonia. Although it's a small country and we are still part of this Northern European. We ourselves like to think that we are more like Finnish and Swedish people, and we have this great work ethic. So in addition of this, just the system that we have created with the government, also you can expect quite quick action from people around you here. So me, myself, I like to do things as soon as possible. So that's always a rule that I have. And you can really get that kind of culture in Estonia as well. So if you need, like, I don't know, any warehouse partners or any partners at all who would need you, your help or you need their help. So in Estonia, you can get things done quite quickly. And it's not only the government, the people as well. So that's
I'm not going to say that it's very different than other European countries, but it actually is. So. That's
the thing. That's the thing that you really cannot compare that way. But if I look around and I work with a lot of different clients and a lot of different people in different countries, I really do notice that even compared to our UK office employees, it's kind of this mentality that let's get things done and do it fast. So I think that's also a benefit, but it's not really. It's more like
we have a small question from Ahmed. Two questions. Let's go ahead and answer them now. So the first question from Ahmed is, we're going to be talking about this, of course, but he's asking, how long does it take to register a business in Estonia?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is the place where I push a button and we'll go to the next slide.
Let's go. Let's do it. Then.
Let's go. Yeah. As mentioned, you need this digital identity to actually access the online services that Estonia has. Well, you have business registry, which is most important to you, but you also have e-tax office, you have e-statistics. So all of those things you can access with your e-residency card, and it can be quite useful for your business. For example, starting your business, applying for the card and actually getting it delivered to Abu Dhabi can take like a month. So that's a waiting period you have to consider. But let's assume that all of you who want to open the company, you proactively are already applying for the e-residency card and you're going to get it tomorrow. So you have the e-residency card now. So once you have the card, it actually takes 24 hours to open the company. Then you have to look out what kind of bank account you want. But Estonian government allows any bank account for your company. So either it's going to be like a fintech solution, Wise, Payoneer, N26, Revolut, I don't know. There's so many out there.
And by the way, a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people love previously TransferWise, now Wise. It's actually an Estonian company, which a lot of people don't actually know. Yeah.
It's the thing that Wise is just, Wise as a company is just brilliant. They started out in Estonia and they offer like a really fast solution. You can get their account open maybe in 2 or 3 days, business account, and you can already start using it. It has British pounds, US dollars, euros, and maybe even, do you have dirhams? I don't remember what you have there.
And Wise, no, not yet.
Okay. Okay.
But it's quite an easy solution. So to answer your question, Ahmad, if you have an e-residency, it takes 24 hours. To get an e-residency, let's say for anyone who lives in the UAE, it's kind of similar to the process of just getting it, is very similar to how you would get your Emirates ID. So basically you apply online. If you are accepted, then you indicate, or during your application, you indicate where you want to pick it up. Let's say you say, okay, I want to pick it up from Abu Dhabi. They send it over to Abu Dhabi. You go pick it up in Abu Dhabi. You do your digital fingerprint, and they hand it over to you then and there. And then you've got your digital ID. And using this digital ID, you can basically sign official documents, do everything using that digital ID, including opening your company. So the key to all of this is a digital e-residency. For a question from AJ, what's the difference between one office and first formation? Not that I know what first formation is.
Yeah. I know first formation. Okay. They are our competitor in the UK, so they offer similar services that one office has. Maybe the difference is that I don't know who their owners are or anything like that. I just know that First Formations is one of the most popular service providers in UK. Obviously, we are headquartered in Estonia. Estonia is a small nation. We did expand to UK, but we are not anywhere with the reach as First Formation has. So First Formation is like the market leader, and there's like 100 other companies, and in UK, then Estonia comes after those, like one office comes after those 100 competitors. But compared to this to Estonia, in Estonia, we would be maybe the market leaders or a couple of competitors who are also really high. But yeah, related to this presentation, maybe First Formation, it's not the most relevant question, because as far as I know,
because we're focusing on Estonia.
Yeah, First Formations only opens companies in UK, as far as I know. Maybe also Ireland, but that's all I know at the moment.
Perfect. A small question, Tonis, from Ahmad as well. Will the tax percentage be the same if we start selling in UK or Germany?
Well, you have to consider that you are making profits, and your company is making the profits. So as long as you sell in Germany or the UK, you are fine. But this is a good question, because there always are exceptions. For example, the main exception that I can find, but it happens rarely, because your sales volumes have to be really big. But if you sell, let's say your Estonian company sells to Germany and the United Kingdom, and if your volumes are really high, I would say million and above, like your profits from Germany are over €1 million per year, then the German tax office might contact you and say that, hey, you are making all of this money, you need to register a permanent establishment for your Estonian company. So that can happen. But
that's a good problem to have, actually.
That's a good problem to have, exactly. Yeah. If you're such a good e-commerce seller that the German tax office asks you to establish a permanent establishment, then you must be doing something well. But none of my clients, nor one of us, we have, let me see, we have something there. At the moment, we have 1,849 clients doing different kinds of things. And this permanent establishment thing is not only related to your e-commerce. It can be related to any service at all. So if you do some business with your Estonian company in Germany and you do it a lot, you have big sales there, then German tax office might tell you that, hey, you need a permanent establishment. But among our clients, 1,849, I've not heard a single case yet. So 0. So you really have to make some big money to get that kind of taxation put upon you. For all practical purposes, your company will be taxed only in Estonia, and the tax rate is 20% if you decide to take out the money for your own use. If you keep it in the company,
personal use, yeah.
Exactly.
If you're paying your employees, if you're investing it in other work-related activities, then you're okay. But if you decide to go on a shopping holiday, then well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is really like common sense. Anything related to your business, go ahead, use the money. If it's your personal expense, then maybe not.
Yeah, perfect. Let's keep going so we don't run out of time, especially that we're getting some really cool questions as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so you have the company, you have the bank account. Now, what you need to focus on is getting your e-commerce platform registered. We spoke about Amazon already in quite detail, but after getting the bank account, basically registering your e-commerce platform user is the next step. And I guess you know more about this, like how long will it take with Shopify or Amazon or whatever platform, eBay, Etsy. There's so many out there.
Yeah, we're focusing on Amazon, but obviously you've got the legal setup, so you can decide to do whatever you want. eBay, Amazon. There's so many, Zalando. There's so many marketplaces in Europe that are equally as big as Amazon. Or you can decide to do your very own selling on like a Shopify website or something like that, if you wanted to.
Yeah, and then just start your activities and do that. And why I haven't included Amazon in the process is that I want to be as general as possible. But with Amazon, you do have this additional step that once you get your bank account open, if you want to do it with one office, then this is how we work. You get the company, you get the bank account, and then you get the VAT number in Germany or the UK, because in those marketplaces, we can actually support your Amazon activities fully. In other marketplaces, we have to a little bit think like what exactly is the best situation for you. It's possible, but we don't have standard versions. But like the main markets, UK and German marketplace, we can fully support. Yeah, exactly.
Which leads me to a question, Tonis, by Henry, just to explain to people. It's a good question, Henry. Thank you. So Henry is saying you one office assistant setting up an Amazon account. But are you like Amazon account management? Do you source products? Do you develop products for people to sell on Amazon? Do you warehouse? Do you do stuff like that?
Well, we have partners for that who we can refer to, but there's no strings attached to this package. So the only thing that we would like to do for our customers is taking care of the back office. So we will do your accounting, we will do your compliance. If you need some changes in the company, we will do that. We will open your Amazon account. But once that is set up, your Amazon account, you are free to do anything you want there. You can hire other people from the marketplace to actually do this background search for the product or whatever you want, or some kind of design, or just make sure you're first on the ranking page or review page, whatever is most necessary for you. So we're
talking here, one office is a business setup company with partners, of course. Yeah.
We just want to take care of the back office, and we don't want to interfere into the business decisions that might affect your profits, because if we say that do this or do that, then it's already making some business decisions that, like, we cannot guarantee that this business decision is correct. So we're going to do your accounting, we're going to open your accounts, we're going to help you with everything related with the business itself, the back office of it, but all of the marketing, all of the sales, everything like that, your visuals, everything is done by you. So you have that freedom with one office.
Perfect. What else, Tonis?
So
I have a juicy question from Muhammad, but I want to see if there's anything else in the presentation you want to talk about.
Yes, there is a final page,
Yes,
basically, and it's the obligation part. So it's been all rosy so far. Maybe the Amazon account, you know that there are some threats or dangers or hurdles that you have to overcome, or we together have to overcome. So it depends how you want to proceed. But if you have a company in Estonia, you have to do some kind of compliance to keep it active every year. So one thing, you have to have a local address with a contact person. You have it from one office, so that's fine. It's part of the Amazon package, plus it's part of every company formation that we do anyway, because without local address and contact person, you cannot open a company. And the other thing that you need to do is you need to submit your financial data to the government every year. So this is done 6 months after the first financial year has ended, and you do it every year. And this we can cover as well, so you're in good. And then the final thing is maybe the VAT reporting or accounting. It again depends. If you're doing Amazon, then yes, you need to do VAT reporting in Germany, and one office will cover that, plus the accounting, so everything. But if you're doing some kind of drop shipping, then I put it in brackets because it depends if it is VAT or not. So that's more like a special case where you do just drop shipping, but with Amazon, you need this VAT reporting, and one office will take care of that. But as long as these 4 things have been covered by your company every year, then you are good to go, and then you're all good with the government in Estonia, and there's nothing else you need. Just keep the address and submit the financial data every year, and you're good.
Perfect. The question that I wanted to refer to, which I believe you've already answered, but let's thank you, Muhammad, for your question. So it's number 1, how much will it cost in total to set up a business? Number 2, what about business address? Will we get it as we need it to open a bank account?
Yes. I will maybe answer this business address part first.
Yes.
Because Bristol, I think you know how to open a bank account for an Estonian company, but the general logic is that you will have an address for your company in Estonia, but these online banks that you are communicating with, or any bank that you are communicating with, they actually want to know your place of business, which is different from your place of like registration place. It's not in Estonia. Most of the Amazon clients, most of the e-commerce clients, they don't do any business in Estonia. So they don't actually have a place of business in Estonia. They just have a legal entity. So what they want to see that this Estonian company that you have is somehow connected with your address in your home country. And that's fairly easy done, because when you take this registry extract about your Estonian company, it shows that port location or the place of business is this address in United Arab Emirates. Now what you need to do is take some kind of utility bill from your home, match it with the same address with your name, and then these two documents will complement each other. So this is how it's done with Stripe. I think even Wise does that. So it's quite a standard thing. You get your Estonian registry extract, which is free, and then you get your utility bill from home, and then you can prove that this is your place of business, and you can get this online bank account.
Yeah.
Now, if
so
you're
you've
talking
got your
about
company, so you've got your company address and you've got your residency address, and that's how you'll be able to open a bank account with Wise, with Payoneer, with Stripe, which is also a payment gateway. And if you decide to visit Estonia, even though Tonis says now it's going to get cold, so potentially don't visit now. But if you decide to visit Estonia, you could also open an actual bank account with a lot of banks, like who have banks that have buildings that you can walk into the building and open a bank account. Obviously, it's tiny little bit more complicated, but you can do that if you want to. But equally, Wise and other bank accounts are also bank accounts. You can use them the
Yeah.
same way.
You with these online banks, you get different European country IBAN codes. I know with Wise you can
True.
get German and Belgium IBAN code. With Revolut you can also get quite different IBAN codes. So there's like flexibility in the IBAN code you're gonna get, but it's gonna do the same
Especially
thing
if you're
for
an
you.
e-commerce seller, for sure.
But
Yeah.
it's gonna do the same thing for you, which means that you can pay your expenses and you can receive income from your clients. And
100%.
that's all that an e-commerce seller or Amazon seller needs. Some people, yes, they want like a traditional bank account with a building, I should say, because I really don't know why you should want it. I guess
you feel more
maybe
secure. You think maybe they'll just put your money somewhere.
Well, it's all
in a
digital
safe.
anyway. Yeah, and just those prices with like traditional banks, they are much higher. You cannot keep in different currencies. Every currency conversion costs you. You're gonna lose a lot of money just transferring this money from, I don't know, company's bank account to your personal bank account and vice versa. Everything costs money with traditional banks, but with Wise, it's quite. I don't know, Crystal. What do you think? I mean, I think Wise is really,
to be honest,
really affordable.
if there wasn't a gap, there wouldn't be Wise and other fintech solutions wouldn't be as popular and as needed as they are now. It's because I think traditional banks haven't caught up to how especially e-commerce sellers use, cross-border payments and money and stuff like that. So yes, of course, it's a very flexible system, but still maybe there's a little bit of a doubt for anyone who starts out thinking, the money is on a website. It's not in an actual physical building. So it might be, but it is a solution for you to be able to easily set up, because you're going to be, when you sell in different Amazon marketplaces, you potentially are going to be, you need different currencies. You might be selling in the US, you want to use a US bank account. You might be selling in Europe, you want to use a Euro bank account. So you might be selling in the UK, GBP. So you want to be as flexible as possible. One additional question. Yes. How much does it? I know there's a lot of packages, obviously, and there's a lot of things. But just to clarify something, Tonis, is it possible for somebody to register an Estonian company by themselves, or do they need to have a service provider like One Office, for example?
Well, I would say that you can register the company on your own. But as you see the slide in front of me, it says your obligations. So you need a local address and a contact person. And you cannot get you can get the local address from Estonia. Just, I don't know, rent something out, come here and visit here, and then rent something out and register your company there. But as soon as you leave the country and you're not coming back, then you actually need a contact person. So these two things usually you need to buy from a service provider. Once you have bought this service, yes, you can register the company on your own in this online business environment that Estonia has. But again, it costs 190 euros for the state fee to register that company, and you pay us like 50 euros extra to actually do it for you. So if you want to avoid any mistakes or anything like that, just take the address from One Office plus this 50 euros extra for the registration, and you're safe. You know that you've done things correct and your company will be registered. Otherwise, you still might misclick something or write something wrong somewhere, some wrong place, and then you get a feedback from the government that, hey, you need to fix that. Then you don't understand because it might be in Estonian that, hey, what I have to fix, what's happening here, and then you end up with a service provider like One Office anyway. So that's usually how it works. So better do it again, same as with Amazon account. Do it correctly the first time.
Correctly in the first place. Let us know, everyone who's watching, if you have any other questions. My last question for you, Tonis, is because we're running out of time. My last question for you is, because a lot of people, obviously, when you want to register a company in Europe, you've got a lot of options. Primarily, you've got the main option of, do I choose the UK or do I choose another European country, such as Estonia? What is the difference? I know we touched on it, but let's just repeat it. We're not saying this is better than this. At the end of the day, everyone can make their own decision. We're just showcasing what this is, and then you can decide whatever is best for you. It's beautiful to have the choices because, everyone has their own, their own vision of what they want to do, of course.
I would say there are three things. So fees, taxation, and then compliance, which again translates, it also translates to fees again, because the more compliance, the more you have to pay. So that's how it works. So Estonia and UK fees. The incorporation in UK is really cheap. It's like £29 at least with us. And the company formation in Estonia is £265. So that's the difference, right? €265. Sorry, this is 350. It's an old slide. But anyway, you have really cheap to open the company in UK and a little bit more expensive to do it in Estonia. But you also have this address. So this address fee, €290. It's the same in UK. So in that sense, it's the same. But now think about next year. So next year you have to renew the address. Usually service providers do it that way in Estonia, that you have to renew it every year, or maybe in some cases every month. So you do it again in UK. But now the Estonian company's annual report starts from €175. And then quite often it's similar there. It can be a bit more, but it's like €175 usually. Now in UK, it's going to be like £700. Just like the easiest annual report, it's going to be £700. And if you have transactions with your UK company, it can easily be £2,000. So yes, the first step is really cheap in UK, but next year it's going to be hard. Then taxation. In UK, you're going to be paying 19% tax every year, the income tax. You're not going to do it in Estonia as long as you keep it in the company, reinvest it, as I mentioned. And then the compliance, well, in UK, you have to have mandatory work contracts, mandatory companies registers. You have to, at some point, you might need to take a trademark, So there are other things in UK that you have to keep in mind if you compare with Estonia. Now, Estonia can be compared with other European countries as well. And you can find places maybe where it's cheaper, I don't know, Malta or Cyprus, but you don't have that kind of efficiency that you have in Estonia, that you will have. In those places, you always have to rely on a service provider. But in Estonia, you can rely on a service provider, but you can double check them always, like what's happening. Maybe they are overcharging me. Okay, I have to check this situation. This is not right in my opinion. You can always have this kind of
it's very transparent. It's very transparent.
Yeah, it's really transparent. You can check everything basically.
Okay. So Henry was saying there are different packages, and you showed a little bit of an idea of how much it might cost. Do we contact one office directly? Absolutely not. Do not contact one office, and especially do not contact Tonis. Go ahead and contact if you want more information, of course. The one thing that you would want to know is if you have any questions related to this, you can go ahead and contact one office and Tonis personally. This is his email. If you have any questions to figure out if this is something that is suitable for you, because it is quite different seeing that Estonia is the premier digital nation in Europe. So not only are you going to have a company in Estonia, I feel like I'm like the spokesperson for Estonia all of a sudden. But it is a quite unique system that they have created, and for such a small country, and nobody has actually caught up to them. So do your research, and you'll be as excited, I think, about what Estonia is doing as I am. I'm sure you will. It's very, very interesting to see what they've been able to do for such a small country. So check it out and see if this is something that is interesting for you. And you can use this company, this Estonian company, again, to register as a seller, because Zahid is saying that he works in a company here in the UAE, and he's doing this as a part-time business. The Amazon, he's doing Amazon as a part-time business, this is the perfect situation if you don't want to register a business in a free zone in the UAE. Then you can register an Estonian company, and you can use it to sell on Amazon in the UAE or in all of Europe if you want to sell in Europe or anywhere else in most of the Amazon marketplaces, the main Amazon marketplaces. So you can do that if you wanted to.
I totally agree with you. And for those who want to do it as a side business, I think it is, Crystal, you mentioned that this UAE license-free zone license is like 3,000 euros.
It is a big investment for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're doing this as a private person, which is can be considered kind of illegal, but I don't know. If you compare the Estonian prices just based on this pricing, you maybe have like 500 euro annual cost. Okay, the initial setup cost can be a bit higher, but annual cost is 500 euros. Then just compare the two, and you have much less risk with one of them, with the Estonian company. Because you can always close down your things in Estonia and just let us know that, okay, you're done, bye, and then just close it. But I mean, just contact me, contact my team. That's the thing. These kind of things always need communication. You cannot just buy it with the click of the button from the internet. You need to understand. We need to understand what you want, and then we can actually make some kind of agreement. So that's how
that's the tough part, I feel, for most people. You need to you need to know what you want in order to know what perfect package is for you. What works for you, Estonia, UK, UAE. So you need to know, and it's not always easy if you're an entrepreneur starting out in this space, but you need to kind of have some metrics of what you want and where you want to go. If you want to, this is at the end of the day, you're registering a business. So you need to at least have an idea of what you want right now and where your aspirations are going to take you. And again, thank you so much, Thomas, for your time. Everyone, if you want to communicate with Thomas directly, you can contact him by email. You can also check out the One Office website. And I highly recommend that you also check out, do some search, do your own due diligence and your research, and check out what is happening in Estonia and what's the difference between opening an Estonian company, a UK company, and you decide what works for you according to what you think you want to do. Last question from Jalil. He's saying, I'm already an Amazon seller registered in the US. If I'm to expand to Europe, given the fact that I already have a company registered, can an Estonian company still benefit me?
Okay, I assume there has to be some assumptions to answer this question. First, yes, you have the Amazon seller registered in the United States, and you have a company, but you don't have the company in the United States, I assume. And you actually don't have the company, in Europe. So let me think about it just a bit.
Jalil, if if you want some more details, go ahead and contact Thomas directly, so you can figure out if this is something
the main question is where is your company registered?
Yes.
So then I could answer this. At the moment, it's a bit hard, but I would say if you have like United Arab Emirates.
Oh, he has a US-based company.
Oh, US-based company. Okay, and you're not a resident, I hope, in the United States. Not in a bad way, but I know that if you're a resident in the United States, then you're gonna be paying taxes to the United States always and forever. So there's no point. If you're a United States resident, basically you don't have a point to create companies in any other countries, for tax purposes at least.
Always and forever.
That's my final opinion. Well, that's what I've heard from my customers.
He is a resident.
That's
God
crazy.
bless you, Jalil. He is a resident.
But if you have some other company, but I mean, if you're not a resident in the United States, then you can, transfer the account from your US company to an Estonian company, and actually you could get that benefit for the corporate income tax that you can accumulate your
But
profits.
since he's
So
already
that
a
would change.
resident, it doesn't. It's not gonna really benefit you, Jalil. Use your US company to sell on Amazon in Europe quite easily. And if you have an Amazon North America account already open, you should, in a few weeks, you should have already been approved to sell on Amazon in Europe. So it shouldn't be a very big issue. Normally, like Tonis said, if you're not a resident of the US, then yes, it would make sense for you to open a European company rather than use your US-based company to sell in Europe and then pay taxes while you're on a US, because you're paying income taxes. So perfect.
Yeah, but everything is always testing out. So if you already have this US company, maybe just test the water in Europe with your US company. If it picks up, then you can make the necessary changes in a later stage. But yeah, testing is always useful. Just test it if possible. And if it goes really big, then you can think again about this problem, whether it's
maybe you can
necessary.
move. Why? We're gonna make him
anything
move
is possible. Yeah. Well, you cannot just. This is on the table. You can move.
Yeah. Well, we want everyone to come to the UAE, Tonis. I'm sorry.
I would also want to come there. I heard there's 42 degrees there.
42 degrees today. Tonis, thank you so much for your time. What last thing do we want to say before we get going?
Before we end this conversation, I just hope that you manage to get more comprehensive understanding about Estonia and about EU market specifically, how you can enter into it. Don't have to be afraid of it. There's usually no problems going to happen if you don't make it. It's encouraged to try out and fail rather than to just not try out at all and then be in the same stage that you are at the moment. If it somehow feels that this is an option for you, then at least, at minimum, contact somebody in Estonia to learn more. So you would get even more detailed understanding about the situation. And then, as Crystal said, make your decision. But don't be afraid. I mean, we are friendly. You can contact us, and then we would be happy to help you. Even if you're not going to buy anything, like we're going to customer support you to help.
Of course. Thank you so much, Tonis. Thank you, everyone. The idea of Power Your E-commerce Business, our series, is to expand your knowledge and information to help you learn how to, if you are already selling as an e-commerce seller, how you can expand. And if you're not, how you can get started with all the fantastic companies like One Office that provide support and help. So thank you so much again, Tonis. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.